Studio Blue Radio is proud to present Raffa Music Show by Raffaela Madaffari. Check the microphone.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Raffa Music Show here on Studio Blue Radio. I'm Raffy, and today I have a very special guest all the way from Germany, Michael Ellis. Hello, Michael.
Hello, and thanks for being on the show. I mean, me.
You're
Oh my
welcome
God, that
for
was a bad
being on the show.
introduction.
Amazing. No, that was perfect. Gold. So I guess we can just start at the beginning. You started violin lessons when you were 6?
Yeah, somehow, yeah.
How did...
Don't ask me why.
Oh, okay. It's just a thing you did?
Yeah, it sort of happened. You know, everybody said, well, that kid has to play some instrument, and I don't know why the choice was made for violin, but there you go. Maybe it was me, actually. I liked classical music back then, so maybe it was just my own choice.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember.
Yeah, and you kind of stayed with the stringed instruments. You got your first electric guitar when you were 9.
Oh, yeah.
How was that? Was that exciting?
Oh, that was really, really exciting. I mean, that was sort of a big break in my musical, I wouldn't call it career, in whatever happened musically around me, because I used to be, you know, I played the violin, I was playing in the orchestra, little kiddie orchestra, right? Mm-hmm. And during a trip to Denmark, when I think I was 8 at that time, there was a band playing in a marketplace, and they were playing Deep Purple covers. Mm-hmm. And I had never heard music like that before, and they were so loud, and there were the big guitars and everything, and I was so excited. That was a turning point, really. And I knew what I had to do.
Yeah.
Bug my parents to buy me a guitar.
I mean, it's the least they can do for their prodigal musical son.
Absolutely. That's what I told them. So they did.
Were either of your parents musical at all, or anybody else in your family?
Yeah, my mom plays piano. My brother does play piano, a little bit piano. My father is a guitarist. So, and the rest of the family, yeah, there are some piano players, some organ players. So there's a lot of music, always has been in the family.
Amazing.
That was
awesome.
just one more addition, really.
You should have started like a family band and go touring. we you know, there were plans to do that, but then again, there were other families that were doing that at the time, like the Kelly family, for example. I don't know if you guys know them over in America. In Germany, they were a pretty big thing. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, but they were kind of a, I wouldn't say negative example, but we decided it was better not to do that.
Ah, very good. Well, that's good, because when it comes to things like that, when there's not a large quantity of people to do that, it only takes that one family to put a bad taste in everybody's mouth and make it kind of a negative thing. So then you don't know how you're going to be perceived. So
yeah, sure.
Definitely
also,
makes
we didn't
sense.
have a bassist.
Ah, well.
And finding a good bassist is one of the most complicated things in music, really.
Really?
Most people want to play guitar. At least that's my perception.
Mm-hmm.
Most people want to play guitar, and nobody wants to play bass. So you end up with really not many good bass players.
I love bass. I love playing the bass guitar. I used to have one. I don't anymore.
Why?
Yeah. I think I was kind of like discouraged and was like, I can't do this, and sold it, and it was dumb because I've regretted it ever since. So I did play a little acoustic guitar last summer, but I was not good. So bass guitar, electric bass. And, you know, I feel like when I listen to music, that's the audio that stands out most for me. Like, there are songs that the bass line can either make them or break them. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, just Queen comes to mind, for example, like Under Pressure, or Another One Bites the Dust, or something like that. That without the bass guitar wouldn't be possible.
Exactly.
Or Michael Jackson songs. They always needed that bass guitar.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your first kind of step in the music world? Did you start off as a soloist, or were you playing in bands before kind of going on that solo path?
I was playing in bands before I went solo. Going solo was actually more or less a thing I had to do because I'd written so many songs that just wouldn't fit into with my band. Because back then I was in a punk rock band, and we were playing the hardcore punk rock. I wouldn't call it hardcore, but like no fix style band. So it was like strong, fast, loud, and everything. And I had written some songs which I wouldn't even introduce them to the band, or would introduce the band to them, because I wasn't sure whether they would be laughing at me or not. And so I thought, okay, let's just record them by myself. I locked myself into a cellar. Is it cellar? It was a basement. Into a basement, and just recorded the songs for myself. And then, a small album came together. And then I thought, okay, maybe that solo thing might actually be my path. So I stayed on it.
Awesome. That's really cool. How has it been treating you so far? Like, how has the experience been?
It's lots of work. It's very lots of work, and I knew from the beginning I would be doing it mostly for myself, because the songs kind of usually they kind of come to me. They're not writing themselves. It's a lot of work writing them, but the ideas come to me, and they have to be produced in some way. You have all these ideas, and you have to do something with it, and then you decide, okay, let's write some songs, let's make an album. And making an album on your own is really, it's a process. It takes quite a lot of time, and recording the instruments is not the biggest part, but fighting yourself over all those decisions, that's the big part. That's what is really exhausting, at least to me. I mean, I really like it. Sounds like I'm not doing this because I like it, but because I have to. But I really like it. But it's a battle.
Oh yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
But then again, sometimes people come to me like you and tell me, I've heard that song and I really liked it, and they're talking about something that I made up, so that's pretty cool to hear. That really feels good.
Yeah, it's like, it's your creation. It's like your baby.
Yeah, it is.
You produce your own work. You do all the kind of behind the scenes stuff for that as well.
Yeah, that's all me. I wish it were different sometimes. I would like to hire a producer, but then again, that's pretty expensive if you want someone who's really good at what they do. And then I'm not quite sure if I could live with somebody else's decision over my work.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I could live with that. So better safe than sorry, and just do it on your own.
Exactly. Yeah. And it makes it more personal, and when people do compliment you on your work, like that, it'll mean even more, because like from start to finish, it was all you, instead of, handing it off to somebody else.
It's true, yeah.
And you're also a scientist?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
A scientist, that always sounds like, I'm running around a lab and wearing a lab coat and building rockets and stuff. I'm an audiologist, so I am a scientist in all things audio. Waves, and it's a part of physics, but it's not like, rocket science. It's more like science of waves and rays and stuff like that. Sounds.
That's awesome. And so what do you do as an audiologist?
I personally, mostly I sit in front of a computer and run simulations. and think about how I could process different arrays of microphones for some purpose. Like I would have an array of 50 microphones, for example. This is actually can't see it because we are only talking, but up here I've got an array of 50 microphones, and I can program that to listen into one specific direction, for example.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
that's
and then
awesome.
I run simulations on how to improve that, really.
That's really awesome. I did not know that was something that was possible, so that's really awesome.
Yeah, maybe you've seen line arrays at live shows. You know, these big arrays of loudspeakers.
Yes.
In front of the stage. Yeah, that's basically the same principle, only the other way around. So they can emit sound in a specific direction.
Yeah, I'm familiar with, you know, the output, but I didn't know that the input can be kind of swayed in a specific direction. So
yeah, it can.
That's really cool. And it must help you so much with your music.
Yeah, I've been thinking about implementing some of the experiments in a way that I can use them on an album. I've not yet done that, but that's something I have in mind, yeah. And I know some people are doing it with artificial head microphones, for example, that they're recording some bits of the music with artificial heads, which is basically just a plastic head with microphones in the ears. And what you get then is, if you listen back to it on headphones, you can perceive sounds behind you, for example, or above you. And that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've also seen for like ASMR stuff, I know that they have those special like microphones where like you do one ear and then the other ear.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's really cool. Speaking of albums, you're currently working on one, aren't you?
I am, and I have been since March, I think. When was Easter? Was that March or April?
Easter this year, I think, was in March.
Could be. I don't know.
It happened, you know. That was a lifetime ago.
Yeah. Some time ago, there was Easter, and I know that because during Easter, during the Easter holidays, I locked myself into another. It was not a basement. It was actually a. No, I need your help. What's the space under the roof?
Attic.
An attic, right? Thank you. Oh my God. An attic. I spent 4 or 5 days in an attic recording drums.
That's really awesome. So what kind of genre is this new record? Is it like something specific, or is it just kind of like pulling from all different sounds?
I'm always trying to, you know, be all over the place musically. So there's always some pop and some rock there, and usually there's a singer-songwriter song usually near the end. And some instrumental parts also. And this time I'm going even further. There will be at least one rap track, which is really not my comfort zone. But I want to make one. I made one a couple of years ago when I don't know if you are familiar with Jamendo.